Hello everyone, welcome to another MSc land training session on video. As always, weights if you have them, if not cans of food, mat or towel to lie on, water to drink throughout. Today's circuits they've got 3 circuits, 4 exercises per circuit and 1 minute per exercise, and we will repeat. Okay, here we go. As in the real world, we're going to start with the warm-up. Approximately 30 seconds per exercise. Okay, going to start with jogging on the spot. Throughout the warm-up, you want to still be able to hold a conversation with someone, so it's that kind of pace and effort. Moving on to butt kicks. And back to jogging again. And then we are moving to high knees. Really pick up your knees, pump your arms if it helps. Try and keep those high knees going for the whole 30 seconds. You can see I did struggle though. And then we're back to just jogging on the spot after that. And it wouldn't be warm up without jumping jacks. And back to jogging again. And side steps. I'll warm up the inner thighs. And back to jogging for one more time. Well done. Should feel nice and warmed up now. Go and grab a drink and get ready for the first circuit. Okay, have a drink and then we will get cracking. Lower body first. There's your list of joy. Streamline squat jumps. As you know, this is a favourite because it will support your diving off the blocks, giving you more power for your start. Keep the arms above the head, legs slightly wider than hip width. Make sure when you land, you're landing in a squat position as best you can. Different angle. And well done if you do the full thing. These were tough. Do try and keep your whole minute going. Plie squats are wonderful for your ankle flexibility. Stay nice and low in the squat position, and then you're just lifting your heels off the floor.
Three, two.
As we go along, there might be a tendency to start letting your body creep higher and higher. Be aware of that and try and get back into a squat position if that happens.
Three, two, one, stop.
Brilliant, well done. Lunges with rotation. Good efficient exercise because you're working both your legs, your bottom, and then your abs as well. And you need that core work to give you power in the water and to keep you balanced. You can see that when you do the rotation, it's to the side where the leg is forward. Aiming for 90-degree angles again with the legs. Try and keep your knees, ankles and hips in alignment as best you can with this exercise. If your knees have a tendency to fall into the middle, you could end up with a pulled tendon. I love a deadlift. They'll strengthen your hamstrings and your lower back. Remember to keep your back nice and flat. You're bending under your hips, not above. If you bend above your hips, you will definitely arch your back and that puts pressure on it. Keeping the legs straight and hip width apart. And you want to find a point just slightly in front of you to look at, so you're keeping your neck in alignment with the rest of your spine. I do love a deadlift. First tea break, enjoy. Have a sip of your water and enjoy the breather. As you can see, circuit 2, we're going to hit your upper body. And here's what you've got to look forward to. So press ups, ideally on your toes. In line, have your hands in line with your shoulders, a little bit wider than your mat. These are a staple for swimmers, so you will never get a program from me that doesn't have press ups in. And you need to lower your chest and your hips as low as you can to the floor. If you're struggling with full body, which is fair enough, they're tough, it's fine to drop to knees. You want to have your legs at a slight angle, just so they're as challenging as you can manage. Renegade row, very good for your lats. On all fours, you're bringing the elbow to point up towards the sky or the ceiling. Keep the arm close to the body. Really feel like you're squeezing the shoulder blade towards your spine. And swap over, do the second side. We're halfway through. With a front to side raise, it's very important you keep your movements purposeful. Don't start just flapping the arms around. You won't get the benefit. As you can see, lift your arms and hands up to shoulder height, never above the shoulder joint. And then you take them out to the side and back down to your legs. Okay, last one coming up for this circuit. Diamond press ups. This is a tricky one. So have your hands together, making that sort of funny diamond shape. Again, if you have the strength, and big ones, I'm hoping you do, try and keep it to a full body press up. This is working the centre of your chest and of course your triceps as you go up and down. But obviously, if it's just too much, it's fine to drop to your knees. But as with the standard press up, you want to try and keep your legs, your thighs at an angle to keep the challenge. tea break number 2. Have your drink, but keep focus, gang, because we're still going. Okay, so circuit 3 is hitting your core. Very important for swimmers. List will be coming forthwith. Some favourites in there, I think, today. Okay, so Russian twists, remember, balanced on your bottom. No laying on the floor, please. I know there's a temptation to do that. And move the weight from side to side. Again, try and be purposeful. You want to make sure this goes into your tummy muscles. Ideally, feet off the floor. But if you find you're getting some pressure on your back, fine to drop your heels down. As you can see, you'll still get the benefit. It just doesn't put unnecessary pressure on your back. Remember, take head and shoulders with you. Not just a flap the arms exercise. So Superman's next. These will work all the muscles that are attached to your spine. Make sure you fully extend arm and leg to get the full benefit, and have a little pause. That will really help your muscles. These are not a difficult exercise, but after a whole minute, you'll probably start to feel it down your spine. As always, keep your head and neck in alignment with the rest of your spine. Brilliant. Okay, side planks. Here we go. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side. You want to have your hips lifted off the floor, leaning on your elbow, as you can see. I am most comfortable putting my hand on my hips, but honestly, with that spare arm, you can put it wherever you like, as long as it doesn't interfere with your ability to do the side plank. There you go, second 30 seconds. So this element of the video will actually last slightly longer than a minute to give you a chance to turn over. You may find you're stronger than on one side than the other. I can definitely do it better on my right side than my left. But well done for keeping it all going. And last exercise, back extensions. Really great for swimmers. I know most of you will know these from land training. Small move to get your chest off the floor, hand at the temples. Don't overextend your back. And another tea break. Keep drinking. Keep drinking. Remember, you can pause these videos if you need to go and get more water. Now, if you're thinking, all right, that's not too bad so far, we are going to go back to the beginning and we're going to hit your legs again and your lower body. So, enjoy your tea break. We're going to do circuit 1 again. So, in case you need a reminder, the list is just coming up. We're going to be starting with streamline squats again. We're actually doing these circuits 3 times through today, so it's going to be quite intense on each area of the body that we're working for you. So here we go. Legs should be nicely rested after the other circuits. Just a quick recap. Legs slightly wider than hip width apart. Arms above your head throughout, as if you're about to dive. And you want to land in a squat position. Just a little tip, as you get tired, you might have a tendency to let your knees fall in. Please, please, please don't do that, because you do that long term and you will damage your knees. We just want to keep them nice and strong, regardless of your stroke. And on to the plie squats again. This is where you dig out your inner ballerina. To recap again, get into squat position, stay nice and low, only lift your heels up and down. Your legs and torso should stay fairly still. Will depend on your flexibility though.
3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Three, 2, 1, stop.
On to our lunges with rotation. Try and keep legs in line, keep your joints in line, hips, knee and ankle. Turn the weight when you rotate towards the leg that's forward. And this one It's generally easier for your alternate legs. And aim for that nice 90-degree angle when you're bending your legs. Brilliant, that's another minute of those under your belt. Deadlifts to finish. To recap, legs hip width apart, bend under your hips, and you want your back as flat as possible. If you find you're starting to curve your back, don't go so low, because your flexibility will affect how low you can go. And much more important to look after your back than to say you can deadlift to the floor, because not many people can. And it certainly takes a bit of practice and developing your flexibility. You could rest your bottle of water on that back, couldn't you? And tea break time. Enjoy, keep drinking. And then we'll get ready for circuit 2, upper body again. Here's your list to remind you what we've got coming up. So to recap, hands in line with your shoulder joints, probably a little bit wider than your mat or towel, unless you have an especially large mat or towel. Keep the body and legs as flat as possible. You want to make sure that you're lowering your chest and your hips at the same time, not just one or the other. On your toes for as long as you can, but obviously once you've run out of juice, you can drop to your knees if you need to. But if you can do a whole minute of press ups on your toes, I am sending you a high five right now. Okay, onto the Renegade Rows. Arm close to the body, elbow pointing up to the sky or ceiling. And just on your knees, you're squeezing the shoulder blade towards your spine. And you should be able to feel that squeeze. Sometimes people have a tendency to roll the weight in, so they're bending their wrist. Do be aware you don't want to do that. You want from your elbow all the way down to your fingers to be completely straight, I think is the right word. But don't don't bend that wrist so that your hand curls inwards. This is a favourite of mine to chuck at you to develop your shoulder strength. As I said in the previous circuit, make the moves purposeful. Don't go above your shoulder joint. Make sure you go up, out and then down for the whole movement of the exercise. And diamond press ups. I know they're a little bit evil, but they're so good for swimmers. So make that diamond shape with your hands. Lower the whole body and your hips at the same time as with ordinary press ups. As long as you can on your toes. And if you can do a whole minute, again, I'm sending you a high five. If you run out of juice a little bit, feel free to drop to your knees so that you can keep it going for the rest of the minute. You want to make sure your hands are fairly close to your chest when you do this one. And these are definitely tougher than standard press-ups. And it's tea break time again. Take your breather and then prepare yourself for another core set. Here's the list again to remind you what's coming up. And as before, starting with Russian twists. I think these are such an effective exercise for your middle. I love them. So, as I said before, recapping, balance on your bottom, feet off the floor, no lying on the floor, tempting though that may be already, and make sure that you're twisting from side to side in a purposeful manner. No flapping, please. If you do find your back is giving you some bother, drop your heels to the floor. That will just give you a bit more support. So flipping over onto all fours for your Supermans. Really extend the opposite arm and opposite leg, and that way you'll really stretch out your spine. Lovely exercise for that. Have a little pause at the top, just a sort of half a second, just to really get the benefit of that stretch. Don't know about you, but I could probably do these forever. I really like them. Anyway, on to a less popular exercise, I know, but they're so good for your obliques, your side abs, if you like. Get those hips off the floor. You want to just be balancing on the side of your feet. You'll definitely feel it down this side that is being leant on, so to speak. And you see I've dropped my head slightly. It's just try and keep the spine in alignment. There's no benefit to keeping your head at a funny angle. And flip over so we don't have wonky muscles. Don't forget to keep breathing. People often, because planks are hard, people often forget to breathe because they're concentrating. If you breathe, it actually makes it a bit easier. Not just from a survival point of view. And finally, our back extensions. So hands at temples again. And you're just going to lift your chest off the floor. And I cannot stress enough, you do not want to go over where your back wants to go. If you overextend it, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So just little moves and listen to your body on this one. Just take it as far as it can go. Don't push it. I know some of you that do maybe dance or gymnastics probably have a much more flexible back than other people. But just take care. And it's tea break time again. So we're 2/3 of the way through now, gang. Well done for getting this far. Enjoy your tea break. And I've got one more set of these circuits. You're nearly there. I am sure you don't actually need the list of loveliness. You've got it ingrained in your brain what's on today's circuits. But here it is just in case. And as before, we are going to start with your streamline squat jumps. And at the risk of nagging or boring you to death, keep the arms above your head. Try and keep your torso upright. A couple of dodgy ones from me there. Make sure you land in a squat position, so your legs must be bent when you land, okay? Oh, and one thing I haven't mentioned this time, but with all the types of squats that we do within training, make sure your knees don't go over the end of your shoes, because that would be bad for them. But I'm sure you remembered that already. Lovely, well done. If you've done 3 solid minutes of streamlined squats, I take my hat off to you. Awesome job. On to the plie squats. Get nice and low, get in the squat position, wider legs, and turn your feet out. Just your heels coming up off the floor are really moving. The rest of you should stay still. You definitely don't want your body coming up and down with these. That just reduces the benefit of the exercise.
3, 2, 1, 30 seconds.
And I know your calves are probably getting tired, but just hang on in there because you're nearly done.
Three, 2, 1, stop.
Okay, lunges with rotation. What for the last time on this video? Try not to let your knees drop inwards. You need to look after all your joints, regardless of how young you might be or old. Always remember to twist to the side where the leg is bent forward. Okay. And of course the old 90-degree angle, whichever style of lunge you're doing. You'll be able to train me by the time we go back. And last but not least for the lower body, deadlift. Can be tricky technically, but I do like it. And I am going to give you my pointers just one more time. You want a nice flat back. You achieve that by bending under your hips. Legs just hip width apart. Hold the weights if you're using them just outside, just on the edge of your thighs, as you can see. And look at a point on the floor, just slightly forward of you when you come down, when you bend it over. And we're back to tea break. Have a drink. I hope you've still been drinking all the way through the session. You've got time if you need to go and grab some more water. It's all good. Then we'll prepare for our final upper body session. As with the others, I'm sure you no longer need the list of loveliness, but here it is, just as a reminder. And if you're dreading one of those exercises on the list, at least you know now this is the last time on this video. So back to our press-ups. Remember, swimmer's favourite, this one. It might not be yours, but it is so good for swimmers. Keep the body long straight legs, ideally on your toes for as long as possible. Hands in line with the shoulders. I know you know all this. And I hope you all have your pets for company whilst you do the training. And as before, if you need to drop to your knees to finish the minute, no problem. Just keep the legs at a nice angle. Not quite straight down. Onto our renegade rows. That's certainly a favourite of mine for back strength. So elbow up to the sky, keep the arm close to the body. We don't want any wings, so to speak. And you should feel that squeeze as the shoulder blade moves towards the spine. And swapping sides. Always remember you've got two sides on exercises like this. So our final front to side shoulder raise, front to side raises. They're sometimes called shoulder raises too. And I know your shoulders will be starting to get tired at this point. If you need to, just slow it down so you don't start flapping. No benefit to flapping. Most important thing to remember with these is not taking your arms higher than your shoulder joint. That's another temptation sometimes. Okay, final one. Final time for the diamond press-ups on this video. Do let me know if you've done 3 solid minutes of diamond press-ups on your toes. I will be in awe of you. You can always pop a comment underneath if you feel so inclined. As before, if you need to drop to your knees, no problem. Just keep going, get that minute done. Final tea break. Keep drinking and prepare for your final core circuit. Okay, final time on the core. Here's your list. I'm sure it's ingrained in your brain by now. Here we go. Balance on the bum again. Nice twisting from side to side, no flapping. Make sure your shoulders go with you, so you're really mobilising your spine when you do these. Ideally, feet off the floor, but if you're feeling pressure on your back, it really is fine to pop your feet on the floor if you need to. Because by this point, you might be getting tired. Some light relief with Superman's next. Remember, nice and long with the arms and legs. Have that mini pause at the top. But I know you'll have nailed this by now. Brilliant. Last time for the side planks. I know some of you will be happy about that. Got to make sure those hips are off the floor and you're keeping your body as straight as possible. And swap sides. Brilliant. Well done for getting through 3 sets of those. And finally, back extensions. Final exercise of the session. And if you are getting tired, maybe you're not coming up as high as your back will allow. Don't worry. Don't start throwing your body up and down. That's where you might hurt yourself. You just keep doing what you did on the previous two sets of these, you'll be fine. And you will still be working your lower back. And you've made it to the end of the session. Brilliant work, guys. Now we'll hit the stretch down. Remember, 30 seconds for each one. Have a drink at this point if you need to. And we're going to start on our fronts as usual. So just laying flat on the floor, up on your forearms, you'll get a small stretch across or up your abdominals and your tummy. And then we're going to straighten the arms to lift your body up a little bit higher, and you'll get a deeper stretch down your front. Only go as high as you can. Everyone's flexibility is different, so depending on the flexibility of your back, that will dictate how high you can come on this stretch. And then we're going to come back on, sit on our heels, forehead on the floor, and stretch the arms forward so that you can stretch the upper back, open up the shoulders. Now we're going to roll onto your back and pull your knees in towards your chest. This will stretch your lower back. Rest your head on the floor. Important to do that, otherwise you'll just get a strain in your neck. So we're holding these for 30 seconds each, all these stretches. Okay, 1 foot across the knee and pull in the underneath the leg. This will stretch out your glutes. And of course, swap sides. You should feel a nice pull in your bottom when you do these. Up onto your feet, we're going to do the swimmer stretch first, where you hug yourself. This will open up your shoulders and your upper back. It is important to stretch down, guys, so please do this bit at the end of the video, because otherwise you're going to be sore in the morning at best. or over time you might pull something. So always do the stretch down. And then we swap sides on the swimmer stretch. Okay, onto the calf stretch, and then bring your arms behind as well. So with the calf stretch, as you can see, rear leg is straight. You should feel it in the belly of your calf. Front leg is slightly bent. And by bringing the arms back as I've done, that will stretch your chest out at the same time. And then we'll swap sides, and then you're going to hug a beach ball, which stretches out your traps and your neck and upper back. Okay, going to stretch the hamstrings next. Take one leg forward and keep it straight. You want your toes pulling up towards your shin, and you should feel a nice pull down the back of your thigh. Sometimes it goes into the top of your calf as well. It's a flexibility thing. And of course do the other leg. Okay, onto your quads now. So you pull your foot towards your bottom, doesn't have to touch. Again, flexibility, everyone's different, but you do want to feel the pull down the front of your thigh, and try and keep your knees fairly close together. And then you swap sides. Different viewpoint, just because. Okay, triceps. So you're going to grab one elbow and just pull it to try and get the hand down your back. So don't pull too hard, obviously, just enough to feel that stretch in the back of your arm. Two sides as always, or both sides. And then we're going to just pull the arm across just to stretch the shoulder and the bicep. You don't want to lean on the elbow, so either place your arm between the shoulder and the elbow or between the elbow and the wrist, whichever's more comfortable, and just give it a gentle pull across the body. Shake it out and you're all done. Well done. You've made it to the end. Have a drink, have a snack like a banana or a cereal bar. See you soon. Take care.